Watergate and Nixon was a scandal that almost toppled the government. This is a scandal within the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice that will shake the very fabric of our judicial system. This is Watergate 2.0. This shakes the very foundation of our judicial process. If BOP officers are allowed to access your private records and use that along with the FBI to influence witnesses and influence trial outcomes, we are living in an unjust country. How does the FBI have a 98% conviction rate? If you're using an inmate's jail records, it's easy to get a 98% conviction rate. If you're using the phone calls, the emails, the commissary, and the letters received by the inmate to use it to flip witnesses and influence trial outcomes, it's understandable how you have a 98% conviction rate. How many other inmates has this happened to? We need answers. This is the application for an affidavit for the search warrant filed by Matt Liu, special agent with the Office of Inspector General at the Department of Justice. You see here that he submitted this to the judge along with a picture of the computer that was seized, and he gives an explanation stating that Officer A accessed the records 153 times, and they did find evidence of that. She was unauthorized. She then scanned the information to her computer and sent it to a blogger. That blogger then stated on air she shared that with federal witnesses' parents and federal witnesses in both New York and Illinois trials. You don't call the Office of the Inspector General within the Department of Justice for a violation of company policy. They don't assign a special agent to do a full investigation, seizing computers, filing affidavits for search warrants to seize computers, sealing the documents, and then spending many man hours going through the computer, many hours and hours and money spent investigating this if it were strictly a violation of company policy. Matt Liu filed the application and affidavit for a search warrant, case number 20M148. It was filed in the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division. You call their office manager, you call human resources. When you send something to the Office of the Inspector General for a special agent to file for a search warrant, and you seal the affidavit, and there's a 22-page report on it, and they seize computers and spend many man hours going through everything on the computer, and a judge has to sign off on this, you behave, this is more serious than a violation of company policy. The Bonjean Law Group supports appropriate efforts to hold the BOP responsible for misconduct against Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly is our client, but we also support his right to express himself about his injustice. We also support those who want to communicate their demand for justice to the BOP. The Chicago Tribune article dated September 7th, 2021, about Rkelly leaked emails. And that article, the September 7th, 2021 Chicago Sun-Times article. These are major newspapers in Chicago, the two top newspapers major publications. So this was significant enough for Robert's lawyers to file a motion in the Illinois case. This came to light because Rkelly is a huge superstar, and a blogger read it on social media. So it was exposed. The people wanted to brag about what they had done. How many other times has this happened, though? How many other people have been affected by this behavior who weren't famous, so they didn't realize someone had taken their records and used it against them in their trial? We cannot allow the Bureau of Prisons, the Department of Justice, to dismiss this, to sweep it under the rug, to minimize and trivialize what Officer A did. It was significant enough for the warden to call the Office of Inspector General, the Department of Justice, to bypass human resource and go to a higher authority. It was significant enough for a judge not only to grant the search warrant, but to seal it. And it was significant enough for Officer A to retire. All things about this say not only is it significant, it is judicially critical that the government stays on this.